Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 3. And back at the Alpha Racing League, we are here for Tier 3, round number 12 of the season. It is Singaporeing, because it is actually pouring. The race is going to be in the rain, because dynamic weather was chosen. And, boom, rain. And it's round 12, Singaporeing. Yes, you see that in the title. Singapore. And, I'm PMBO5, if you don't know already. I am joined by co-commentator for the first time, GSR Chili. GSR Chili, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. Really looking forward to this race, even to be back in the commentary box with you. It's gonna be a really good race, as Singapore is, quite frankly, one of the hardest tracks on the calendar due to the endurance of these drivers need to have to avoid damage.
Well, let's go over Singapore last season. Although you weren't in the league at the time, you may recognize some of the names, because this is kind of a race where some people's names were made. Rappalucas made his first start in this race last season. This was also Lost Trevi's start, or last start, because he scored a points finish, and that's his last appearance to this date. But hey, Rappalucas, though, on the other hand, with him, I see B Nick in the chat. Hello, good to see you back. But yeah, no, tier 3. With that, Rappalucas made his first start, almost got on to win the race, actually won the race on track, but at the end of things, it was Chevy Giant off penalties, and this was almost so close for Davis's first podium. He was so close. He picked up a penalty in the final lap, got it on track, but did not get it on the end with penalties. So, I mean, that was regular corner cutting. Two people got penalties right there on the last laps. What are we going to see now in strict corner cutting, Chili? Because this is way stricter on this game, and it's not regular corner cutting anymore for these Tier 3 boys.
Yeah, definitely. From me doing time trials myself, the track limits don't look that harsh here, but they can be really harsh. You have to be able to stay on the track here. There's so many places at Singapore where if you track extend a tiny bit, you will pick up a warning. So these drivers need to be careful and try to, one, avoid damage, and two, try to keep it on the track.
Yeah, so the first starts in this race, of course, last season, the only one I could think of, I know of for sure, Rappalucas making his first start. We know what he's gone to be like now in Tier 2, promoted to Tier 2. And yes, Singaporeing. Yes, that's a little hint for the actual race. It's pouring. Wait till you see the race weather. Well, regardless of that, although Tier 3 last week did provide a record equaling weekend, we could see a record breaking weekend for Bennett, with the most consecutive wins by a driver at 5, as well with the most wins all time. I just was trying to think of words right there. But yeah, regardless, let's go over some of the people making their first start or coming back as reserves. Evil Matrix, though, over GSR. If you remember, he was, I believe, in this league at the time of last season. It was race 3, but he's making his first start since last season. Technically not his first start, but his first since last season. You also got as well Burning Man coming back as a reserve. M&K Boy as well. It's been a long time since he's been here. He's done a lot of ABS Tier 3 races, and he's got the pace. He definitely is one driver who can maybe contend with Bennett and maybe be on the podium. We've seen it before. Alpay back as a reserve for Red Bull. Rapid Extreme 2, not bad in the Alfa Romeo, filling in for Just Dylan Boy. So, a little bit of front wing right there. That might be from a Renault. But from what we see, that's basically everything else. And oh yeah, M&K Boy is in for CJ Pants on his final race in the race band that he's got for, of course, you may know, Straight Lining's teammate. So, with that being said, let's kind of go over the points here, Chili. If you go to Tier 3, you should be able to see the points.
Yes,
and
yes, I do see it.
With these points, we already have a champion crowned. That's as simple as that. But what McLaren can do this weekend is wrap up the combined constructor standings. It's going to be very unlikely. They needed 1-2 in every single race this weekend with at least one bonus point. And other teams scoring probably at least 10 or fewer points. They need a lot for the combined constructors. But Bennett, of course, he's won the championship already. He's got everything he needs to, so he's 123 points ahead. He could actually get the record for the most points in a season by a driver. That'd be insane to do. But that's all up to Mexico, USA, and Brazil, and all that goes. And today as well. So then this brings up my next topic then. Second place in the points. Hissy, Squid, Raptor, Black Draw's not far from there. And Arthur and Just Dylan Boy have kind of been keeping content with those guys. Those 4 that I named though, Hissy, Squid, Raptor, Black Draw. 2 of them have, well actually, sorry, 3 of the 4 have won races. Hissy's sitting in second. He hasn't even won a race. So how do you kind of look at second through 5th there, and who may get second in the standings? What might that be determined by?
Overall, either way, it's going to be a really, really close battle in the standings. Like you said, from 2nd to 5th. I feel like Hissy just needs to get some good results coming into the Americas part of our calendar this season. Squid Jr. and Raptor, again, only 5 points separate the two, so it needs to vary from race result to race result, because if you get one bad result, there's a chance that you will be overtaken, since the top 5 all have really good pace, and overall it's anybody's game for that 2nd place spot.
Oh, well, I was also going to mention the constructor standings before we get to qualifying. That constructor standings, about 80 points separating AlphaTauri, McLaren on top. Like you mentioned, one bad race can change the whole standings. It's done that before. We've seen, I know this isn't ARL, but this is GSR, where Bama Outlaw had 3-4 bad races in a row. He got caught. There was drivers within a race of him. But then, at the final 2 races, those drivers who were in contention didn't show up. And that really gave him and offered him a championship, which was on the line. So, with that being said, if you make a mistake or slip up, that championship is wide open. But that's about 2 races between them. AlphaTauri needs some good fortune to go their way. We talked about, well, what if Bennett gets moved up to Tier 2? I mean, look at Belgium then. Look at Belgium with how that was. AlphaTauri scored 35 points. With only Communist, that's about 8-10 points. That's about it. So, if Bennett has a bad race, they gain about 25 points on average from that Belgium race onwards. So, one bad race could really show what could happen next in the championship.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, AlphaTauri is 87 points back in the standings, which I don't think they're going to catch them. In terms of McLaren clinching the combined constructor standings, we need to have a big showing from Communist here, who's currently down in P13. So that's not where he wants to be starting, if he wants to clinch the McLaren Constructors Championship. So it's anybody's game. Even the mid-table, Ferrari, Renault, Mercedes, they're only separated by 18 points. So constructors standings, it is anybody's game here, and any team can move up in the standings.
Yeah, although, say McLaren come win the constructor standings in the next few weeks, I mean, it's still anyone's game for second, like you mentioned, and Ferrari, Renault, all those guys, it's anyone's game. Well, heading to the qualifying session here, Bennett extends his gap from first, 135.4 that is. And you also have as well Tommy Karate and M&K Boy and Rapid Extreme, Hood and Monster, who all sit in that top 5. F1 driver, I did, by the way, grant you moderator privileges in the chat, by the way. So I just thought I'd let you know about that if you didn't see that notification. But, yeah. So, these qualifying laps here, Singapore, it's a minute, I'd say with that pit lane as well, I'd say it's about a minute 45, really, to get at least a lap in, or at least get back onto the track. And Black Raw has retired from the session. But yeah, qualifying is crucial. We saw last week, Blue Gaggi got pole at Spain. Patra VC's out. Yeah, Blue Gaggi got pole at Spain. You may ask how. Well, it was kind of the crazy qualifying session. These drivers, they're all going to go for softs. I mean, Squid is on mediums, but they're all going to go for softs, and that's because of the fact that this race will actually be in the wet. It should be heavy rain, according to the weather from Tommy Karate. From what I saw, heavy rain the full time. So keep in mind, your driver's got to be prepared for anything. And we're coming to the final qualifying laps here. Bennett gonna start a lap. He may be able to get back to the flag. That may be a little bit of a timing delay, I would assume, because there's still many people in outlaps, and I don't think there'd be 4 people in outlaps with this much time left. But regardless, You have Bennett coming to start a lap. There's the Haas driver of Evil Matrix, who's actually invalidated. May come to the pits, may do a lap. He's going to come to the pits. I know I've mentioned... Oh, well, actually, that is a checkered flag. But I know I've mentioned this before. I'll mention it again. Entering that pit lane right, that's crucial. You know, you may get a warning for that if you don't do so by the game. But there's a Ferrari coming to the line. That should be Fake Fiery. Checkered flag for him. Can't get any better. But there's also more cars coming to the line behind that Communist as well. You know, not even in the top 10 as of right now. Trying to look better for his time. Can't do much here, but it's the final corner chicane time. Then the Renaults follow one another. Tommy Karate does yield, well, does stay P3 and remain there, but Communist comes to the line now, improves to the top 10. Not by much, though, but behind, there's the two Renaults. Dominant Square heading into the pits. Raptor coming to the line with Burning Man in the way. Raptor gonna get a tow, coming to the line. Raptor stays 19th. Behind that, there's the Alfa Romeo. Rapid Extreme, he's actually 8/10 up. Can this be a first pole for Rapid Extreme? Coming to the fallen corners. Rapid Extreme coming to the line, only second. He was close. Alpe, though, invalidated. There's M&K Boy, 2/10 down. Can't do much there. Another Alfa Romeo, Aaron Ocon, very good in qualifying this season, but he's been invalidated. That should be qualifying over, as Hooded Monster has got his front wing broken and has hit the wall. That's qualifying over.
Yeah, and what an eventful qualifying we just saw there. Rapid Extreme. I mean, Pimby, you have to feel bad for him there. Only a 1/10.5 off of Bennett, but he should be really impressed with that. Looking further down the grid, Burning Man does have a 5-place grid penalty, so he will be starting in P18. MNK Boy, really good qualifying session for him. He has a lot of pace, so I'm glad to see him showing it here. Only 5/10 off of Bennett. So, who are your favorites going into the race today?
Well, I was actually just going to mention there's 3 reserves in the top 7, and outside that top 10, I think of names like Patrick VC, Arthur, Black Raw, and even maybe Matrix or Raptor who could do something in this race. But yeah, we'll get to the favorites on the formation lap. But yeah, I think really though, with what I've just seen in qualifying, is that, I mean, we could actually probably see a Singapore 2017 start, if you remember that. I think it's actually light rain. I can't tell from here. It may be heavy from the driver's point of view.
It is light rain on my screen, so we'll see if it does become heavy.
It's supposed to stay for the whole race, though, so that's what I see. From that, I don't know. And Singapore 2017 conducted. Yeah, he loves seeing that. And Bennett is Verstappen. I mean, or he could be Vettel. I mean, he does start on pole, so you know. Regardless, 16 seconds coming to the lights out and the grid. Well, of course, I just want to mention I just lost train of thought. I literally was just about to say something and then I just forget it, but no worries though. Anyways, intermediate tire it looks like, and it just looks like it's going to be intermediate tire for the whole race. So, Chili, I'm going to go over my 3 favorites. If you don't know already, we go over 3 favorites, maybe sometimes 2, for these races. And who we're going to watch out for, who we're going to really keep our eye on, and who we think can do something impressive today. Or win, get a good points finish, who may be the guy crashing into someone. I don't know. We're just kind of focusing on the ones to watch for. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. But regardless, I'm going to go with Rapid Extreme sitting in second. Qualified second. This is his highest qualifying in ARL, especially with how his season has been. It's not been the best. He's wanting to hope for better. And Communist Alpay disqualified from the session. I don't know what happened there. But, again, Rapid Extreme has not had the best season. And last season, in this race, he was running in a very high position until he got taken out and damaged. Not the first time that's happened here, but Rapid Extreme hoping to do better in this race. I'm also going to go Tommy Karate. Okay, so Wet Race Master, you probably can claim that's also him too. Because in the last 2 wet races that he has raced in, well, no, 2 of the last 3 wet races he's raced in, he has actually took podiums in both of them. So it could be possible to take a podium today. I'm also going to go from the back of the grid. I'm also going to go with Evil Matrix, guy over GSR. I think I mean, he's won before in Tier 4 in GSR. I know it seems like, oh, it's Tier 4, but could make the claim that Tier 4 GSR is kind of as competitive as Tier 3 ARL. Except without Bennett, but, you know, Evil Matrix, though, he's won a rain race before. Go back to Britain in GSR, Tier 4. So, could see him do well in the rain. And I didn't pick Hissy for a reason, because I'm leaving that up to you if you want to see Hissy. Regardless, 3 favorites from you, Chili.
My first favorite is going to be MNK Boy, starting P3. He is a GSR Tier 2 driver. I have raced against him plenty of times. He has the pace to win today, so I'm going to go with him starting from 3rd position. Next up, I'm going to go with Arthur, starting down in P12. I feel like he could definitely make up some spots on today, especially with how Turn 1 goes. Or he could get unlucky. You never know. And I think for my final pick, I think I am going to go with Hissy. Because I feel like he has the pace to get a podium. 100%. I mean, 2nd place in the standings. So we'll just have to see how he navigates his first lap, because the first lap is always crucial in every single race that you take part in.
Yeah. Regardless, just waiting for the lights out. Bennett starting from pole. We've seen Singapore starts before from 2017. Be pretty interesting. 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 red lights upon us here in Singapore. It's lights out and away we go. Bennett leads the race into Turn 1. How are they going to navigate their way through other drivers through Turn 1? Rapid Extreme trying to go side by side with them. The Alfa Romeo gets into the racing point, and I think that's a spin into Turn 1. That's Hooded Monster. Aaron Ocon got some damage, but it's almost like a car park and almost like a ice rink. Into Turn 3, Evil Matrix makes contact with Square. They lead the race from Bennett, M&K Boy to Rapid Extreme, Atomic Karate, and the rest of the field. As we go to Sector 2, there's yellow flags at the back. That should be Aaron Ocon and Burning Man, who've actually picked up wing damage from something that's happened earlier. Regardless, Black Draw is next to Fake Fiery in the back. He's trying to make a move. At the very back of the field, there's been contact made, and I think Square as well. And Hooded Monster's actually been disqualified for going the wrong way.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So we already have a disqualification, but overall at the back of the field there was a lot of contact. But we have to pay attention to this battle between MNK Boy and Bennett. Out a second from, I believe it was Rapid Extreme starting in P2, and MNK Boy it's starting to close the gap as he gets a little bit loose. Forget what corner that is, but he gets loose off that corner. And it's going to be interesting to see how MNK Boy catches up Bennett, because Bennett is by far like the quickest in Tier 3. So this will be a good showing as Bennett goes way wide and hits the wall.
So does Rapid Extreme. I think he just gone off track. Both of them do. And this has allowed a 3-car train for this race slate, and there's yellow flags at the back. Who is that at the back? There's contact between actually 2 teammates once again. We've seen this before, Patravisi and Arthur, and I think Evil Matrix kind of shoved his way through there with Raptor. A bit of contact at the back, and I think Patravisi may be struggling. Hooded Monster has now left the session because he is out of the race. Yeah, it's all because Communist. Look it, there's a safety car out. Oh, Thrasher spun. And whatever's happened here, something's happened with Bennett. Unless he's coming into the pits already for damage or whatever, because he's actually had a struggle to the start of his race, because he's actually going to have to repair some wing damage now. And Communist going to double stack, speeding the pit lane as the safety car goes out. It's mediums for Bennett. It's mediums. Did he mean to do that?
I am not sure. That's a very interesting strat.
The rain may not be too heavy, but yeah. The McLaren boys going with mediums.
Yeah, that's really a gamble. That is really a gamble. The track does not look dry enough for mediums. And all the people that did pit, pretty much, they went for intermediate tires. Yeah, as you can see, everybody still on intermediate tires. Even the people who pit, GSR Thrasher, Black Terrell, Aaron Ocon, Burning Man, they all opted for inters. But the 2 McLarens taking a gamble here, like you said, on the medium tire. And I think back to what you said about Bennett, he did get a little bit of wing damage from running wide in Sector 3, so he hit the wall. But this is really interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how this pays into McLaren's favor.
Well, according to the game, Fake Fiery leads the race. No, that's wrong. M&K Boy does. But, no, I think, you know, I think that's a very big gamble. It is raining. There's still a decent amount of spray, but I just don't know if it's going to be mediums. I mean, they may get this right or they may get this very wrong. It's kind of similar to last week, where the conditions were just right for GSR Luke, and we saw what he was capable of doing. He won the race from it. Simple as that. I mean, he was doing what was right, and I think they're taking that strategy again. And rather their race engineer, Pluto, or whoever's race engineering them, may have told them to do this. They may think it's right, and we'll see if more people try it, if that's the right strategy call or not. There's 9 people, though, who have yet to pit in this race, and I'm sure with the way this is going, I've got to check, Tommy Karate from what Jeff is saying on weather, because I have a stream up from him that I want to see what Jeff is saying on weather. Although, by the way, Thrasher spun under the safety car. Well, not under the safety car. Before the safety car came out. And there's been a position trade, Tommy Karate, Rapid Extreme, because Rapid Extreme has gone into the pits.
A lot of drivers opting for the pit lane. Let's see what kind of strategy these drivers will do. 5 people in the pit lane, Rapid Extreme, Squid Jr., Dominant Square, and they're all opting for the medium tires. So is it time for dry tires? Well, we don't know yet. They must have seen what the McLaren guys did, and they needed the medium tires, but this is a huge risk.
Even Jeff is saying that he don't even know what the right tire is right now, whether it's dries or inners. And this rain is at least expected to stay the way it is for the next 20 minutes, according to him. So, and yeah, more people have gone on to mediums. It's Rapid Extreme, Squid Jr., Communist is already on them, Dominant Square, Fake Fiery. So these guys are really trying it, really trying bold. And M&K Boy, Tommy Karate, Evil Matrix, Raptor, they're going to be the kind of definition of what this shows. And they're going to be the defining factor of how this really turns out.
Yeah. And I don't know if this is coming up on your screen, but it seems like the rain is getting a little bit heavier. There's a little bit more spray. There's a lot more raindrops on my screen. So my question to these McLaren guys, as Burning Man has
under the safety car. Hold up. Under the safety car, there's been a crash. Dominant Square and Burning Man. Both of them collided at Square, coming off that great result last week at Spain. Has got damage.
Yeah. Not really too sure what happened there. But yeah, back to what I was saying. This is a huge risk. I mean, if the rain is expected to stay, we don't know if those mediums are going to have grip. We're just going to have to wait and see on that safety car restart, because that safety car restart will tell if the mediums was the right choice. As right now, Bennett currently sitting P5, so we'll see if he can gain on the intermediate runners, MNK Boy, Atomic Karate, Evil Matrix, and Raptor, and we'll see what happens.
The safety car is still choosing not to go in. Remember, last season in this race in Tier 2, we had the longest race ever in ARL. That was an hour. And that was mainly because of how many safety cars there were, how long it was out, the chaos in that race. I mean, that's probably a classic race, and if you want to go back and watch that on YouTube, go right ahead.
Mm-hmm. It
is on there.
Yeah.
And, Evil Matrix coming into the pits. I want to see if anyone else is going to elect to go to the pits and opt for a different strategy than what they got. Yeah, that rain is actually coming down a bit harder now. I see it now, yeah, definitely. And I think there's actually a lot more spray than there was before. I mean, it wasn't as bad, but it's still, yeah, I think the spray is about the same, but there's certain parts of the track where it's more heavier than others. That Sector 3. I think Jensen Button said it right in Malaysia. You can maybe say it's not as heavy as it is now in Malaysia for 2012, but it's like a lake in the last sector. It's kind of like an ice rink possibly in the last sector with how heavy that is. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on board with Evil Matrix right now. He is sliding. Not sure if it's because of his cold tires, but he is sliding around coming out of the pit lane. So, as I believe Fake Fiery opts back to the intermediates, I think he was on the medium compound tire, and he has opted back for inters. So, Was this the wrong strategy? As Aaron Ocon is spun around. I think that was from patch for VC, but I'm not really sure. He spun around. He's down into P15. But yeah, this strategy call is crucial.
Well, Fake Faria still coming out of the pits now. And, safety car should be in this lap. It's been out for almost, really, almost 4 full laps almost. So, yeah, kind of been a crazy one. And I've been pinged. Focus on a medium runner, see if they're struggling. Well, we'll do, but safety car is in this lap. So, K-Boy, Tommy Karate, Raptor, that's the top 3. You have about 6 people on the mediums. With that being said, I'm quite curious to see how that will go with them.
Yeah. And yeah, and like people were saying in the Discord, we have to be focusing on these medium runners because although the track doesn't look wet, the grip levels might be really low as the safety car, like you said, is coming in this lap. So this is the moment of truth on the safety car restart to see what happens as the drivers are slowing down in Sector 3. So we'll see what happens.
K-Boy kind of almost pedaling that throttle, just kind of backing up the restart. Kind of do similar to what Kagoda did last season, but he's actually on the gas now. Cannot spin the traction out of that final corner. Alpace picked up a 3-second time penalty. But how will the medium runners cope with the inter runners? K-Boy, though, a little bit wide into turn 1. You're going to use the runoff. So does Bennett. And at the back, there's been Aaron Ocon having issues. But Alpay is there to challenge on Bennett, and he is on different tires. He's on the inners. So I think the mediums and inners are kind of similar to one another right now. It may be close, but Alpay is still sitting behind Bennett. This is for 4th. Alpay down the inside. Cannot think of that one because he could have possibly taken himself out.
Yeah, just from watching Bennett's perspective, it looks like he is struggling for traction as Alpay is trying to go around the outside of Bennett. They are side by side, and I think Alpay has the better traction. Yeah, Bennett really loose, and here comes Thrasher now, trying to overtake Bennett. I think he's going to get him here, but they're going to be side by side. And like I was saying, Thrasher just has the better traction, and I think this medium strategy has just gone down the drain. As now Hissy's closing to the back of Bennett. Bennett really loose. Hissy has to back off. Now Hissy around the outside trying to get the better traction on Bennett. I think he's going to. As he now goes down the inside, he does have the better traction. And now Hissy is going to go by Bennett. So Bennett might have just ruined his race here. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, he's now got passed by Black Raw. Yellow flag somewhere. I don't know where that is, but that's actually Tommy Karate, one of the guys up toward the race lead. Something's happened with him, and this is now promoted Alpay to 2nd. A 4-second gap between him and K-Boy and Alpay right there. That's how much different it is. And yeah, I think Bennett may be trying to pit for the inners now, as the track is, the track has changed a little bit in Sector 3, I will say. And Hissy's got a 5-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag right there. And Rapid Extreme getting stuck behind Bennett. K-Boy with the fastest lap. Here comes Bennett into the pits. Actually misses the pit lane right there. And gets a 3-second time penalty for that. So he overshot the pits right there. Kind of entered a bit wrong. And got himself a 3-second time penalty for that. That will be crucial. And you see the medium runners. The only guys up at the front, Rapid Extreme and Squid Jr., they're staying somewhat content with the guys up in front of them. Look at Rapid Extreme right here on Tommy Karate down the inside.
Yeah, and Bennett does actually pit for the intermediate tire, so he has made the right choice about that. The medium runners are struggling. You can just see it. Go on board in any of these guys, and they are struggling for traction. Watching Rapid Extreme and Patrick VC closing the gap onto Rapid Extreme. Let's see if he can make a move heading into the end of Sector 2. Again, the medium runner is getting a little bit loose. Rapid Extreme using overtake. Communists crossing the pit lane line. It's a 5-second for that. So that's going to be crucial.
What he must have done is crossed it a second time. Because at that point, I wouldn't even think it's
And
the first time that he get a penalty
oh,
for it.
and
He must have done that the second time.
sorry to interrupt, but Black
Ooh.
Draw with a huge crash into the wall. That he is gonna be,
And that brings
and
out a
he's
safety car. He's actually retired on track from that. I don't know what's happened there, but regardless, yeah, he's got no front wing. He's
yeah.
got no front wing.
So he took a hard impact. I think I was on board with I think it was Pastor VC or Squid Jr., but he took a really bad impact. So unfortunate to see him out of the race.
Well, it's brought out a safety car, and I don't know. You could claim the rain is about the same. I mean, it did seem a little bit heavier, but now it seemed a little bit lighter at some parts of the track. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a driver here, so you know, people may choose to go mediums here. I think, because look at, I mean, there's not much spray. There's not much, barely any.
As some drivers are pitting.
Raptor pitting, actually going for inters there, and mediums for well, yeah, everyone is going inters. So now, nobody's here is going mediums. Everyone is going to the inters, which I could see, but Bennett should be able to gain a few spots out of the pit lane here. With that being said, and yeah, crossing the pit lane exit line, kind of similar to how it's kind of similar to how V2 did it last week in Spain. You cross it the first time, you get a warning for it. You cross it the second time, boom. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think personally the hardest part about this track is the pit lane itself.
Yeah.
It is so easy to get penalties, even at the pit entry. It's probably one of the most awkward pit entries that you will see on the calendar. So it's so easy to get a penalty for track extending. So um, it's painful if you do get a warning or a penalty from it, but it does happen in league racing, and these drivers have to just be a little bit more careful when they do enter the pit lane.
So 3 drivers out of the race already. I'm not surprised considering it's Singapore. It's a street circuit, so you're gonna have people out of the race, you know, from circumstances and whatever it may be. So out of the race already, of course, is Black Raw, Burning Man, and Hooded Monster. It's going to ruin Black Draw's chance possibly at second for the point standings at the end of the season. If you want to get second, if you want to try to do what you can, be like Hissy. He's running second right now in contention, and you could probably call him one of the best wet racers in this league. I mean, it's Thrasher, Hissy, Arthur, the top 3, and the only person who's yet to pit in this race is Tommy Karate, and remember, he spun at one point. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if he comes to pit at some point before halfway.
Yeah, yeah, he is the only driver yet to pit. So he's gonna lose a lot of spots, and I think Tommy Karate is actually pitting now. I think he is pitting now. Yeah, he is taking the pit lane entry really nicely though, and he is pitting. So that's gonna drop him down a lot of spots, probably to the back of the grid. And that puts Arthur starting P3. He is now up into a podium position. He did not pit under the safety car, but he is up in a podium position as Communist gets a 3-second there. And Thrasher actually leading the race. So this grid has completely turned around since the beginning of the race. So anything can happen here. Doesn't matter. Anything can happen.
Yeah, Burning Man, what he said, he actually had some internet problems or something like that. So before any assumptions are made, I know I've seen before Burning Man's internet. I know he has like Virgin Media or something like that, but I know his Wi-Fi is not the best. So I don't know. I would assume it'd be that. That's how he disconnected. I guess that's how he went in the wall. Something with his Wi-Fi. I don't know, but I know I've seen him lag before. I know I've seen him have not the best internet, especially in Rock League, and even in Party Connection sometimes too. So, Burning Man, that's how he guess. I guess crashed and lagged out of the race. So simple as that, I guess. But regardless, yeah. How long is this race right now? I do want to see that. Is there a way I could check that?
Not really too sure. I'd say about 20 minutes, possibly.
Well, I just want to look here quickly. Hissy, Bennett, Alpay, Communist, Black Draw, Fake Fiery, Thrasher, Burning Man, Aaron Ocon, Dominant Square, Fake Fiery again, Communist again, Alpay again, all in the past, well, the first 7 laps have pitted for front wing damage. Well, you just could say safety cars and a lot of chaos so far. It's been a weird Singapore Grand Prix. The safety car is coming in this lap, though. Thrasher does lead the way. You have Hissy, Arthur, Patcher, VC in the top 4. And then you have MK Boy, who's already pitted, and pitted under that last safety car. How do they shape up compared to the top 4, the race leaders?
I think the top 4 definitely at a disadvantage here. And the reason for that is because tire wear in this game is crucial.
Even at this track?
Yeah,
Even at this track?
Yeah, at Singapore itself as well, as Raptor collides with MK Boy. That is not going to be good for MK Boy, who's currently running P5. Hissy as well picking up a time penalty, as Arthur does go by him into turn 1. So some of the front guys picking up time penalties, which could affect their race, as Rapid Extreme as well, down in P9, also picks up a time penalty. So a lot of penalties going out. And back to the tire wear situation. Singapore is a really tire wear heavy track, so these guys having 5-6 lap tires compared to one lap tires, they're going to be at a huge disadvantage here.
Bennett is on the back of Alpay. This is for 7th. This is a battle that I'd be looking out for because Bennett really wants to get by, really wants to get back to the front. So does Communist. He sits down to 14th. He's got the 5-second penalty. Contact between Raptor, and that is MK Boy. Evil Matrix in the process of that picks up a penalty. And they're all getting stuck behind Patcher VC and Hissy as MK Boy ducks out to the inside. It's going to go through here. He's ahead. Actually locking up, though. He goes a bit wide. And actually almost contact between them. MK Boy is actually under the barrier for a moment. He touches the wall, and they're too wide at the back with Patcher VC Raptor. This is in the midfield, actually. And jockeying for position, changing spots, doing what they can to find enough grip on this inter tire, because they're all just getting stuck behind MK Boys. The battle for the lead heats up between Arthur and Thrasher. Oh, going a bit wide is Patcher VC Raptor, though, taking advantage in Sector 3. Raptor's gone through. Oh, yeah. He's punted him. He's punted him around. That's got Alpay involved. There's a crash. Raptor's involved. Patcher VC's been involved. That's another VSC now. It's the first VSC, but it's another type of safety car.
Yeah. Yeah. Watching that on board, that was a really intense battle. It was also backing up the midfield as well. But yeah, a lot of contact was made there with Patrick VC as he does opt to pit. So does Thrasher actually, taking advantage of the VSC. Alpay also coming into the pits. I think from what he said, this is his 3rd stop of the race, and it's only been 10 laps. Aaron Ocon 3-second time penalty as well.
We may get a record for the most pit stops in this league or in the race, I guess. During a race, it's well, the current record holder is Thrasher. He has 6. That was back at Hungary, I think. Fake Fairy is going for his 4th pit stop of the race, and while that happens, you have M&K Boy and Hissy trying to challenge one another, but they're also trying to challenge Pierre Arthur, the race leader. And behind that, you then have Bennett, Rapid Extreme, Squid Jr., Evil Matrix Square, Aaron Ocon, all in a little train from 4th on back.
Yeah. The gap between Bennett and MK Boy is about 4 seconds. So,
oh, MK Boy.
Yeah, getting a little bit loose there. But yeah, as I said, as Bennett actually gains a second off of that, off the MK Boy, Bennett lost a lot of time from that battle between, I think it was Patcher VC, Alpay, all of them. He lost a lot of time, so he's not going to be happy. He wants to get back up to the front, as I think he sets a purple sector 2. So he's on for the fastest lap here, so we'll see what happens.
On that last lap, lap 11, Alpay, Patcher, VC, Raptor, Fake Fiery, they all came in for a wing change right there. And I think that was definitely needed, especially at Singapore, because unlike Monaco, you don't, well, I mean, in Monaco, you don't want a broken front wing regardless, but you could still be a roadblock here at Monaco. But at this track, Singapore, not so much. You're going to easily have someone pass you if you have a broken front wing, you make a mistake, and boom. Monaco, it's much harder to pass, and you have Pierre Arthur. I'm going to mess it up, man. Arthur coming into the pits for the second time, I believe, this race. He is going to pit for new intermediates. This puts the race lead then. Hissy, M, and K-Boy, while Rapid Extreme is trying to go around the outside of Bennett. He's done so. He's got clear. He's ahead.
Yeah, that was actually Arthur's first stop of the race, but he puts him down at P11. So, Hissy, though, still on 8-lap-old intermediates, and MNK Boy is closely gaining, as I think Rapid Extreme actually went by Bennett. I'm not sure if it's that. There's Yellow Fies in Sector 3, that might have been the Renault of Raptor, and there's a Patra VC is spun, facing the opposite way. He resets the track.
There'll probably be a ticket submitted on that one, because you're not supposed to reset to the track.
Yeah.
Unless you're actually stuck, and I don't think he would. I would say he really wasn't stuck, but Matrix is on the back of Squid Jr. now. This is for 5th place. He's got the overtake button engaged. He's really trying to get by. Can't do nothing there, because if he did something, he was going to spin him around, and I don't think he wanted to do that. Matrix probably wanted to play clean in his first start of the season.
Yeah, looking forward to positions here. Bennett is really struggling here. He now has a 3-second gap to Rapid Extreme, who overtook him. And his gap to M&K.
We got a battle. Behind that, they're 3 wide. Communist is going to go down the inside. I think he's going to overtake 2 cars right there, but if he gets this move done, that would be a great one, because he's got by Aaron Ocon. Now he's got by Square, but Square challenges back into Sector 3, now to the chicane. Square's got ahead. Aaron Ocon actually into the back of Communist. Sideways for him, almost into the side of Tommy Karate. While this still happens, Communist trying to challenge Square. Can do nothing there, but back down the inside right there into the bridge. And now back, switching back. Communist can't do nothing there. Square's ahead. M&K Boy, though, with the fastest lap. And now is down the inside of the race leader, Hissy, into turn 1. M&K Boy's through. But he's extended the track a little bit through turn 2 with Rapid Extreme taking the fastest lap.
Yeah, yeah, I think M&K Boy needed to get that move done. He stuck behind us. He runs a little bit wide, yeah, as you saw there. Looking back a little bit, though, Bennett gap is 3.6 to Rapid Extreme now, so he is falling back ever so slightly from these race leaders. As I think Aaron Ocon hit the wall, I think, a little bit, off of heading onto the DRS straight in the dry, for not getting in the wet. But there's a huge train forming behind Dominant Square, so it'll be interesting to see how this comes to form.
I kind of want to go over as well these 4 guys' seasons from backwards to forwards. Tommy Karate, you know, he's not been able to show up to most of the races. The Square sideways right there. He's not been able to show up to most of the races, but the thing is with Tommy Karate, he's been able to get podiums at times where you probably wouldn't expect him to do so. And
Tommy Karate just rams it to the back of Aaron Ocon. Sorry to interrupt, but Aaron Ocon gets the doubt of that. He completely spins out. I don't know what that move was from Tommy. Might be a ticket submission, but yeah, that's unfortunate for Aaron Ocon.
Yeah, I was just continuing on Tommy. He's going to continue on Tommy, though. With the podiums he's got, Baku, the race where it was a race of attrition, simple as that. I mean, you had to be right in every occasion. You couldn't be wrong at any time. And he got a podium at Hungary as well. Not been able to show up to most of the races this season. Had other things go on, but at a wet race like this, I mean, he's running 9th, and guys, it's about almost 1 o'clock my time, and it's not even halfway. It's getting that crazy as it is. M&K Boy, though, fastest lap. Rapid Extreme, though, fastest lap. A lot of changes being made in those fastest laps categories. But on the other hand, I'm going to go over Aaron Ocon as well. Not the best season for him. Got his best qualifying of the season, though. And hasn't been performing to Alfa Romeo standards. You see the Communist with a little slide, but hasn't been performing to Alfa Romeo standards. He needs to do better than that. He can't just sit here and run 10th place. That's not what Alfa Romeo want. If Alfa Romeo want to keep him next season, with however the team leaders and everything else get decided, he needs to perform right now. And yellow flag, that's the Mercedes driver. That's Arthur. Actually spun around on the front straight. And he's able to get that back going. Communist, though, on the other hand, I want to go over him quickly. It's not always been the best for him. He's been able to get good things, good fortune sometimes. And with him, honestly, he's been so close to the podium so many times. He's not had the best start to this race, but with the way things are shaping up for him, McLaren have really taught him throughout the season. He gone 4 races at the start of the season, maybe even 5, without a single points finish. Well, now he's still looking for his first podium. Well, and you also have as well Square, who almost got his first podium in the last week. Got his second top 5 in ARL. I think that's his third top 5 in league racing. Got 5th at Baku, got 4th last week. You know, a lot's been changing for Square. It's not been the best of luck for him this season, but he's bettered his points tally from what he had last season, so he's got to be happy with that. And especially with, oh, he's almost into the barrier. He is. He's got damage, and he's gone into the barrier.
He completely messed up there. I don't know if you were on board with him, but he went into neutral there. He completely messed up his gear shifting there. That is so unfortunate for Square. As you were just talking about it, he almost got a podium last weekend at Spain. He finished P2 on track. So, really unfortunate for Square. As
oh, Communist has broken part of his wing. He's into the barrier, and I think, yeah, that's got him wing damage. And Tommy Karate has now took advantage of him. They're now inside of each other.
Yeah, and there goes Aaron Ocon as well.
Hissy as well pitting. Evil Matrix as well pitting. Hissy gonna serve that 5-second though. M&K Boy right now is your race leader. Behind that Communist, I think, yep, front wing change probably gonna be right here. Evil Matrix, front wing change for him. A lot of front wings changes. And I actually want to be able to count by the end of this race. If someone reminds me, I want to count the amount of front wing changes there has been in this race. I'm not joking. I want to do that. Because it's similar to Monaco, how much it would be there. But regardless, Tommy Karate has now moved up to the top 5. Bennett back onto the podium. Aaron Ocon, 6th and still within a second range of Tommy Karate. That's what he wants. Alpay with Hissy too.
Yeah, Square also pits due to his wing damage he got from just struggling for traction there. But yeah, you gotta feel bad for Square. He was not running bad at all. So
no, decent at least.
Yeah, he was running really decent for his standards at least. But yeah, as we watch the battle here, Aaron Ocon trying to get back on Tommy Karate after Tommy Karate spun him. Which I was on board watching Aaron Ocon as you're talking about him, and he just completely spun Aaron Ocon. So let's see if he can get back at it. Another battle is Arthur trying to gain on Evil Matrix. He's only 7/10 back of him. So yeah, 2 major battles here. One for a point in this race, and one for P5. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in these next 18 laps, 17 laps, however many you want to count.
I heard, according to Jack, I don't know if he's actually being serious or not, but he said his house might explode. This is about Tommy Karate. I don't know what could happen, but I'm just confused here. I don't know, but regardless, Bennett pits, Aaron Ocon pits. Aaron Ocon had to be assuming this be for a front wing change, and as things do stand, it's M&K Boy Rapid Extreme the top 2, and we're almost halfway in this race. Aaron Ocon, yes, repairing some front wing damage right there. So Hissy, Thrasher, Bennett in a little train. Hissy trying to get by Thrasher. He's got more traction out of turn 3 to now to turn 4 and to turn 5. Around the outside this is. Hissy may make this move work. He's got the outside line and he's got the right line. Behind that though, Patra VC and Fake Fiery, I think, have made some contact there. Something's happened there. Patra VC, no front wing whatsoever. Now, let me check the front wing or the amount of front wing changes. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 22 wing changes at the halfway point in this race.
Make that 23, as I think, as the Mercedes does pit for a front wing change. So make that 23, as we move on. I expect many more.
Yeah. Would not be surprised. Well, focusing on the conditions as we get to halfway, as M&K Boy sets another fastest lap. regardless, I look at the rain, and I don't see too much spray, but there still is a decent amount. Am I saying this is enough for mediums? No way. That's just dumb to try it again. Said it was going to rain for the whole race, but it seems like it's staying the same, but I feel like the spray as well may be about the same, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I'm not too sure. I'm not the weather master. Tommy Karate, though, heading into the pits. Squid Jr. heading into the pits. Will this be for front wing changes?
Squid Jr. does not get a front wing change. See if Tommy Karate does. And I think Tommy Karate is getting a front wing change. He is.
That's the 24th different wing change.
Yeah, make that 24 wing changes.
Oh, yeah. Well, Evil Matrix and Pure Arthur. Arthur tried to go around the outside, but there was just not enough room to do so. He's actually picked up a penalty from that and still trying to go on the inside of Matrix. They actually touch right there again, and you see in front of that, Squid Jr. comes out of the pit lane right in front of them. Arthur, though, around the outside, they've almost touched right there, and that's almost sent Matrix around. They were too close for comfort for that one. Behind that, though, Raptor, Aaron Ocon, close between them, but the gap between the race lead and third place, 38 seconds.
Yeah.
Wow.
It just shows you. Like I said at the beginning of the race, I even said, MNK Boy has the pace to win this race.
Yeah.
Well, oh boy, he is showing it right now. 9 seconds to Rapid Extreme, 38 seconds to Bennett. So, I mean, he is just showing that he has the pace to
I will
compete.
say, though, Bennett does seem, at least compared to Rapid Extreme, does seem a little bit more comfortable in those new intermediates. So that could play into factor. We see Alpay on the back of Thrasher. Well, we've seen Alpay and Fire King collide before. Now it's Alpay and Thrasher. We hopefully don't want to see that, but they actually come very close to contact. Rapid Extreme pitting MK Boy with a penalty. Thrasher, though, runs a bit wide, and I think Alpay just maybe touched the wall slightly. They're making contact right there. Alpay's got ahead, and no crashes between them, so good to see that because I know Haas and Alpay have had a bit of history before. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Yeah. What's his name? Rapid Extreme did not get a front wing change. Is he going to come out ahead of Bennett? It's going to be really close, but I think he's going to get ahead of Bennett, and he does by a long shot. He's 2.4 seconds. But
but he spins! He spun it! Oh, no!
Oh, no, yeah.
Thrasher coming into the pits. I want to focus on this. I really do. I think the wing change is more important than this race, but you have Aaron Ocon actually down the inside of Raptor, touching between them. Raptor goes off track and has to now kind of yield to Tommy Karate, and you also have behind that Thrasher coming in for the 25th wing change in this race. Raptor, though, on Tommy Karate, still almost touching, and Tommy Karate, though, has gone around the outside and taken that position right there. Got to give it to Tommy Karate. I mean, that's impressive to do right there. And the last thing MK Boy wants, though, is a safety car. Look at the gap from him to Bennett. 39 seconds. The largest gap we've seen in ARL history was back in Britain. And you can just see MK Boy's struggling just a bit. But, yeah, 25 shots, yes. Well, I was going to say, MK Boy, though, you should be expecting him to pit soon. Yes, he's pitting now. This may be the final pit stops of the race. But the thing is, 38 seconds, the largest gap we've seen for a race victory before. 25 seconds. Back with the Kagoda, we saw the second largest gap in this race before last season in Tier 1. 24 seconds with Mr. Boker winning that one. Regardless, you have Squid Jr. and Alpay kind of close here. Oh, almost coming really close to making contact, but Alpay does have a bit of damage. Patcher VC, though, 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and that's Patcher VC actually retired in the pit lane.
Yeah, I think he just had enough. He couldn't handle Singapore here. And yeah,
Bennett
he's out of the race.
Has picked up a penalty. While MK Boy comes out of the pits, he's definitely out at least a mile ahead almost, you should say. And behind that, Squid Jr. and Alpay touching and really coming close to actually spinning there. Squid Jr. has somehow nabbed his way through the outside, got a position there as Alpay goes off track and kind of has to not run into Matrix there because those two were a bit close for contact.
Yeah, speaking of the penalty situation as well, just by looking at that, MNK Boy, has an advantage over penalties. MK has 3 seconds, and Bennett has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So he does have an advantage over Bennett. Already adding to that 10-second gap, he still has to Bennett, and MK will be on fresh tire. So we'll see if he can increase the gap to Bennett. As Raptor and Arthur's continuing to battle, and Arthur has spun it. He has spun it, and that's going to allow a communist and dominant square to go past him. And he has a puncture as well from that.
Oh, on the right rear. And that's only 6 laps, Inters. That's only 6 laps.
And he spun
These
again.
tires are wearing so much. He's got a puncture. Oh my god.
As Thrasher hits for mediums.
And Thrasher on the mediums. Yeah, I mean, the rain kind of looks the same, but again, it could... Oh, I'm worried he's going to spin here again. Oh, he doesn't. But if you could only go about 6 laps in the Inters, what's the concern for Raptor then? Does he have a puncture at some point? What happens here? You know?
Yeah.
Because that's only 6 laps.
Mm-hmm. But the puncture, you never know, because the puncture could have been the contact made with I believe it was Evil Matrix. Yeah. So we don't know, but
and his race is just coming down to shreds. I mean, just kind of like that puncture.
As speaking of Evil Matrix, he's now coming to the back of Squid Jr. Squid looks like to be struggling a little bit, so let's see if Evil Matrix can get an edge on him as they go on to the front straight, entering lap 19 for that Mr. Yellow Flag, sector 3.
Square?
It's dominant square, yeah, hitting the barrier.
More wing damage and more damage. Arthur spun again. Raptor coming into the pits. Will this be a first wing change? We'll see. Aaron O'Connor has got himself ahead of Alpay this time. And he's actually running in points right now. That's not bad for Aaron O'Connor. Not a bad ring racer, you could say, for sure. And Raptor, don't think he's changing a front wing? Okay, that's a bit glitched. Okay. While this stands, though, this is the top 5. Well, I'll go through the top 10 then, I guess. Well, hold up. Tommy Karate on the back of Alpay. Tommy Karate down the inside of Alpay. Alpay's got damage, and they actually come to touch. And Tommy Karate has got through with a bit of barging his way through.
Yeah, square pits for a wing change. That's another wing change. That's total
26.
Yeah. It's only lap 19 as well. I mean, we still have...
I was going to say, I really feel bad for Arthur, though, because he got a puncture in Sector 1. This track is about 1:40 to go around, and especially with it being interconditions, it's definitely probably more, with that being said. So, Alpay into the pit lane, pitting for the first time in this race. Well, for the first time in this race. First time for a puncture that we've seen in this race. I apologize for that. That's a 27th different front wing change in Thrasher penalty. And McKay-Boy, though, on the other hand, fastest lap for the race leader. 27, sorry. Yeah, 27. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's 2/3 in the race. So that's how many pit stops we've seen with, front wing damage, not punctures.
Yeah, and over these past few laps, K-Boy has been increasing his gap to Bennett, ever so slightly, probably like, I'd say 5/10 a lap. Arthur picks up crossing the white line. As Evil Matrix loses the position to Aaron O'Connor, but he does decide to pit. Let's see if this will be a front wing change. I don't think it will, but we will see.
Yeah, Patriot's kind of correcting me. He said 28 front wing changes. I'm sorry. I'm going to mess it up at some point, but 28. Oh, yeah, 29.
Yeah,
29 front wing changes. Regardless, it's new inners, and Alpay's got new inners as well. That's a 30th front wing change in this race. We've seen, on average, that's about 1.5 wing changes a lap. Really? I mean...
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah, so the result of this race does look like, unless the safety car just come out, it looks like it'll be MK-Boy Bennett. Hissy back on the podium again, gonna maintain second in the championship. Rapid Extreme not too far behind, 7/10, which penalties may come to matter. Let's see what penalties with them. Bennett, though, I think he actually may have had a 5-second, or was it a 3-second? No, it was a 3-second, sorry. I thought it was a 5-second because of the pit lane stuff, but Hissy has a 5-second time penalty, which I think was served, and then he had a penalty. Rapid Extreme, though, on the other hand, has just a penalty. So I think they're equal. Squid Jr., on the other hand, penalty for him. Aaron Ocon, I mean, it's his usual racely thing. I mean, just let him be with penalties. Tommy Karate, I think that's going to be a penalty unless that warning was for collision. Oh, yeah, it was a penalty, sorry. Communist, though, on the other hand, 2 penalties for him with a 5-second. Unless he served that, penalty and 5-second for Raptor.
Yeah, penalties are crucial in any race. Not just this race, but any race. You need to try to keep it clean, as the gap between Emma and K-Boy and Bennett is still increasing. Gap is now 15 seconds, which end race results will be 18 seconds as
Oh!
Arthur
Okay.
has retired.
That's
Don't know
not
what happened.
on track, Car. That